Hello again, Lockpicking Paul here, and what I've got today is a motorcycle disc brake tubular lock. I'll just turn on this side, show you its operation. It has to be opened to two positions. As you unlock it, that bar pulls out. When you take the key out, that effectively relocks the core. You put this slot over your disc, push the button in, and that locks this big blob of metal onto your disc. But that's where it stops being good. This is not the highest quality lock. If you whacked this with a hammer, I think it would shatter. I think it's chrome plated pot metal, so not terribly high quality, but from a picking perspective it's an interesting lock. It does give good feedback. It's very clicky. It's almost like everything with this lock is exaggerated. So it does everything that a tubular lock does. The pins click into place, you get core movement, but it does more of it, almost too much. So if you're kind of looking to sort of hone the reading of a lock as you're picking it, it's kind of useful for that. It does, however, have some problems. The center pin here is round, so there's nothing to grip onto for tensioning. There's no cutout at the top, unlike most tubular locks. So you can't use a traditional tensioner this way up, because that fat lug there has got nothing to slot into, so it can't wedge against that post and tension it. So you've got to use this tensioner this way up, using the foot. So what happens is you jam the foot in there, and there's a slot. And what would normally happen is this lug here would wedge against that center post. Only on this lock, that center post is too small and it can't do that. However, there is an anti-drill bearing in the center of this post, and we can use that against the lock, because what we can do is we can put the tensioner on and wedge the body of the tensioner against the bearing, which actually allows us to tension the center post, which is handy. That means we can now defeat the lock. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick it open, hopefully. It needs relatively light tension, and you've got to sort of be on it, because if holding it on that bead is not the easiest thing in the world. But you pick it in the same way that you'd pick any tubular lock, just work your way around the pins. If I could see that pin. That one doesn't need picking. I'm getting core movement on this thing already. Oops. That's set. I think that one's set. Oh, that one wasn't. There you go. A bit more core movement. That's the first position. So we'll just do a second position, a bit faster to get to the second position because you're picking less pins. The only problem is just keeping the tension on with this weird arrangement using the bead. nearly there. And there you go. It's open. So, not hard. Quite a fun pick, if I'm honest. It's a bit of a naff lock, but quite enjoyable. And like I said, the exaggerated feedback helps you sort of get familiar with what to expect from these locks. As with all these things, I've filed off the second key so I don't have to pick this thing shut. Life is too short for picking tubular locks shut again. And that's it for tonight. So, I hope you enjoyed that. Enjoy your picking.